All right, Nathaniel, I've got the question of the day for EC Auto, the manager, Nathaniel
All
at
right.
EC Auto. It says, Mr. Nathaniel, I recently bought a car. I know none of the maintenance history on it. Would you please help me understand how I can do the best maintenance so that I enter into winter without any problems having the best maintenance for my car and not having to worry about it freezing or anything like that?
So it's always going to depend on what vehicle you're running. That's an awesome subject as well. So it's going to depend on whether you're driving an automobile or a diesel vehicle. But either way, they're both going to have certain maintenance plans that go from season to season. Um, Now let's talk specifically heading into winter and handling the car information. So there are some shops that you can take it to that can review the Carfax for you. If you're not able to access that, they might be able to see it that way. If not, at least like our shop, we have well informed technicians that know when these systems are supposed to be serviced. And if we don't know the history, we can at least plan out the future of the vehicle with you. As for the seasonal items, and we'll start with the diesel. So heading into winter on these diesel, there's something that I always recommend to add. For one, it is the anti-algae system fuel cleaner. We use a BG product for that. And I also, what that does is diesel has a freezing point of -18, I believe was the last update that I heard on that. And diesel actually freezes and can bust lines, it can bust holes in the tank, you can do all kinds of things in there when it gets to those cold temperatures. So that anti-algae and anti-gel service that we have for the fuel system actually prevents that from happening on the diesels. As well as, I mean, you don't want to be trying to head to work in your truck and you can't even get it started because it can't get fuel delivery. We have other smaller items so we're talking about fuel systems, and then for both diesel and automobile, you have your smaller items that's as simple as adding a window washer fluid mix that has something like methanol in it and stuff like that, where that's not freezing. There's certain types of fluids that you want to get checked, and you want to understand the freezing point of the fluids that are going in your vehicle, and it depends on the area that you live in as well for those seasonal items. Really, what seasonal is all about is, for one, your type of tires, if you have the correct tread on the snow, and your fluids that go in the vehicles. You need to make sure that they're at the correct temperature ratings, and you need to make sure that they're the correct style of, what's the word I'm looking for? Style of tread to get the most traction for your ABS system and all that like that, so you can apply brake into the ground properly.
Okay, so my coolant needs to be checked.
Coolant needs to be checked. You need a higher quality coolant that has let's say, a wider scope on the temperature range specification of it.
Okay.
You should get your windshield washer fluid. We get a winter mix in it. That usually all that winter mix includes is methanol. It doesn't harm anything. On your diesels, you want to treat your fuel system so you're not having frozen diesel. Um, Also, with that, the most specific thing is I like to check my battery before winter comes along, because when these cold snaps hit and we have that super drop or that super sharp drop in temperature, it seems that we start losing some of those charging components. So if we have that 2 or 3, 4 year old battery, when that temperature comes, it might just drop that voltage enough in the battery where it's not working, it's not able to charge. Or same thing on the alternator, we lose the little bit of juice that we had left in it. So that's the last thing that I always like to get checked, make sure I have brand new, make sure everything's fully operational during winter time as well.
So really four things: the windshield washer fluid, the antifreeze, and then the battery
Right?
and the diesel,
Diesel and tires.
and then tires.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Should I put more air? Seems like in the wintertime that we lose air in the tires, or my low air light is on more frequently. Why is that?
So it does happen. That has to really do with ambient air temperature and the air that's in the tires. So the best way that I've always known how to describe it is when it's hotter and things are hot and like air pressure, anything like that, or any type of gaseous type of chemical, it expands in the heat. So, and when it expands and swells, of course, and it's a trap system like a tire, you're going to have that higher air pressure and it's going to be normal. When it's colder like that, it's easier to see if you have leaks because you're not having that expansion going on in the tire, as well as just, you're, like I said, you're not having as much pressure behind it. So it's a lot easier to notice. You're not having that swelling that comes with the heat.